Awesome. So good afternoon, everybody. I'm Charla Robinson. I'm the president of the Thunder Bay Chamber of Commerce, and so pleased to welcome you to today's webinar. We'll start by acknowledging that the City of Thunder Bay is built on the traditional lands of the Anishinaabe peoples of the Fort William First Nation, original signatories to the Robinson Superior Treaty of 1850. We recognize the significant contributions of the First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples to our heritage, social, cultural, spiritual, and economic wealth. And the Chamber of Commerce is committed to a relationship with Indigenous peoples that is grounded on the principles of mutual trust, respect, reciprocity, and collaboration in a spirit of reconciliation. Give you a quick overview of our time together. We're going to start with presentations from Stella and Leah from WSPS. Throughout, there may be some opportunities for some Q&A, but then we'll also have an opportunity for questions at the end of the session as well. So let's get started. I'll introduce our presenters today. Stella Nicastro Greeno is a small business account representative for the Workforce Safety and Prevention Services Office. She is a health and safety professional specializing in guiding small businesses on their safety journeys and based in Mississauga. Thanks for being here, Stella.
Pleasure to be here.
And
Thank
Leah,
you.
thank you. And Leah Stoos is the local health and safety consultant here in Thunder Bay. Leah is a passionate health and safety professional with human resources and public sector experience, and she is committed to workers and empowering the Northern Ontario workplaces. Leah is joining us from Atikokan. So I'm going to turn it over to Stella and Leah. Go ahead.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for the introduction, Charlotte. Ooh, I hear a little bit of feedback there. Oh, thank you for taking care of that. Fantastic. Everyone can hear me? Thumbs up? Yeah? Great. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today as we talk about workplace safety and compliance made easy. I really just want to say a special thank you to Charla and Andrew and all the staff at Thunder Bay Chamber of Commerce for this opportunity and for hosting the session today. I'm really excited to be here. I know Leah is too. Again, a little bit about me. My name is Stella. I'm an account representative at Workplace Safety and Prevention Services, and I've been assisting our customers along their health and safety journey for the last 19 years. My passion is really to connect with small businesses and community associations across the province, sharing health and safety awareness and showcasing our free resources. Let's just get into it here. So, on today's agenda, we're going to be talking to you about the internal responsibility system and its significance. We're going to cover the duties and responsibilities and then touch upon the importance of recognizing hazards in the workplace. Additionally, I'm going to be talking to you about training and orientation, and also we're going to go through a live demonstration using our orientation handbook generator. I'm also going to showcase our free resources available on our Small Business Center. And lastly, we're going to talk about benefits of our Small Business Advisory Service and how you can register for that free service. So as you can see, we got lots to cover. Let's just get into it. A bit about workplace safety and prevention services in case you've never heard of us before. WSPS is a not for profit organization committed to protecting Ontario workers and businesses. We serve 174,000 member firms and 4.2 million workers in the agriculture, manufacturing, and service sectors. Essentially, we offer health and safety expertise, consulting, training, and resources. And our mandate includes helping businesses understand their risk and legal obligations to stay in compliance to build those safer workplaces. We are proud partners in the Ontario Occupational Health and Safety System. So the system is made up of different partners, and each partner has a really unique role to play when implementing the occupational health and safety strategy. Our system partners include the Ministry of Labor, Immigration Training and Skills Development. Essentially, the ministry's role is legislation, enforcement, and prevention. And then we also have Workplace Safety and Insurance Board, the WSIB. Their role is worker compensation, prevention, and back to work supports. Workplace Safety and Prevention Services, we are one of the four health and safety associations, and our focus is on preventing workplace injuries and illnesses. So we're in the business of prevention, right? We're here to provide guidance, information, and resources so businesses like yours can build those safer workplaces. As a not-for-profit association, we are funded by the premiums businesses pay to the WSIB, making most of our services prepaid. And a lot of people don't know that. So a lot of what I'm going to showcase today is absolutely free. Um, and yeah, so that would be our system partners and how we all work and our system partners together. The Occupational Health and Safety Act is the foundational piece of health and safety legislation in Ontario. It's also called the Green Book for obvious reasons. It really sets out the roles and responsibilities and legal authority and general principles for workplace parties such as the employer, supervisors, workers, inspectors, Joint Health and Safety Committee, and Health and Safety Rep. So these responsibilities must be carried out according to this law to ensure that health and safety is available for everybody at the workplace. Regulations are those rules that are specific detailed legislation on how to work safely in certain environments, with certain materials, or with certain equipment. If you are looking for a copy of the Occupational Health and Safety the Occupational Health and Safety Act, we do have the 2026 version available. So I am going to give it a bit of a shameless plug here. It is available on our website, WSPS.ca, and I believe it's something like $23. So pretty inexpensive. But if you don't want to spend that, it's also available to download for free on the ministry's website. So why is health and safety important? I want you to consider these numbers and why it's important for Ontario companies to have effective health and safety policies and programs. So imagine this. This is a picture of BMO Field. It's a soccer field in Toronto, Ontario. The capacity of this arena is something like 28,000 spectators. Now, I know recently it went through an expansion, so we're talking about the old before the expansion. So 28,000 spectators in this arena. Now, I want you to imagine 7 arenas of the same size. So if we're doing the math, 28,000 spectators times 7 arenas is something like 196,000 spectators or 196,000 people. That's the number of workers that are getting hurt in our province every single year. So almost 200,000 claims are going through the WSIB every single year. It's a staggering number, right? And we know that with any accident, whether it's a workplace accident, a car accident, all accidents can be preventable, right? So, therefore, really implementing strong health and safety practices is really essential to keeping everyone safe and healthy at the workplace. Now, let's talk a little bit about the internal responsibility system, which is really the principle behind health and safety law in Ontario. Everyone's got a part to play when it comes to workplace safety at the workplace. It's really the key principle behind the Occupational Health and Safety Act. The internal responsibility system focuses on specific duties, rights, responsibilities, and shared obligation, again, of the employer, supervisors, workers, Joint Health and Safety Committee. The Occupational Health and Safety Act clearly spells out the duties of everybody, right? So if we're breaking it down, obviously the employer has the greatest responsibility. The employer's responsibility is really to provide excuse me, a safe work environment, to establish health and safety policies and programs following all the applicable laws according to the Occupational Health and Safety Act. Supervisors, their role is really to communicate, to monitor and enforce these rules. And then we have workers, right? The workers' responsibility is to follow the rules and really to report any concerns they have to either their supervisor or their employer. Now, if you're a bit of a larger organization, you're going to either have a joint health and safety committee in place or you're going to have a health and safety representative. And really, what their role is to monitor the system, make recommendations to the employer, and really support communications between all parties. So, the internal responsibility system, in a nutshell, is everyone has a part to play when it comes to health and safety. Everyone's got a responsibility. So, based on the size of the organization, here are some of the legal requirements and when a health and safety representative or a joint health and safety committee is required. So, if we're looking at 1 to 5 employees, there's no legal requirement to either have a joint health and safety committee or a health and safety rep unless your workplace uses designated substance. If this is the case, then you do need a JHSC. Now, designated substances, there's a huge long list of designated substances, and some examples of those will be things like asbestos, benzene, isocyanates, lead, silica. So again, this is a very short list of a very long list of designated substances. So the long and the short of it, when you're 1 to 5 employees, no designated substances, no joint health and safety committees required, nor is a health and safety representative. Now that does change. So 6 to 19 employees, the workplace is required to have a health and safety representative from among the worker representatives at the workplace who does not exercise managerial functions. And I wanted to kind of say that a little bit slower. And the reason for that is when I'm talking to small businesses, this is often the gap that I see. Small businesses will have a supervisor in place or they'll have the employer actually doing this function, and that cannot be. So as per the Occupational Health and Safety Act, it needs to be a worker rep for the worker voice. So please keep that in mind when you're selecting your health and safety representative. Now, the larger the organization, the more you need to have in place. So 20 to 49 employees. This is where the workplace is required to have a joint health and safety committee of at least 2 certified members. One needs to be a worker representative and one needs to be a management rep. And then the larger the organization, the more folks on your joint health and safety committee. So if you're 50 plus, you are required to have 4 people on the committee, always more worker representatives than managerial representatives. So please keep that in mind. And I believe 2 need to be certified. Okay, so in addition to legal duties, workers also have 3 rights under the Occupational Health and Safety Act. The first is the right to know. So yes, workers do have the right to know what job-related hazards they could be exposed to. The second would be the right to participate. So this is all about getting involved in health and safety. So perhaps you have someone in your organization who does want to be the health and safety representative or who does want to be part of the Joint Health and Safety Committee. This is all about playing a part when it comes to health and safety in the workplace. And absolutely, workers definitely have the right to refuse unsafe work if they feel that they are exposing themselves to any kind of danger or hazard. And this is what I usually say. This is where you have communication with your supervisor and your employer about what your fears are, right? So this is all about communication, but yes, workers definitely have the right to refuse unsafe work. Now, let's talk about hazards for a couple minutes. So, understanding different hazard categories is really important to recognizing potential dangers in the workplace. And if we want to know what a hazard is, in a nutshell, a hazard is anything that could hurt or harm you. So, that's really what a hazard is. And there are 6 main types of hazards, and it's really important to note that hazards exist in every single workplace. So, let's dive into them a little bit. Starting at the top with physical hazards. So when we're talking about physical hazards, these are things that are including extreme temperatures, whether you're working in an extremely hot temperature environment or extremely cold temperature environment, something with high noise or vibration or radiation. So those are your physical hazards. When we're talking biological, these are living organisms that can cause illness or disease, such as bacteria, mold, and viruses. MSDs, musculoskeletal disorders. This is why we call it MSDs. It's just too long to say. So your MSDs, we're talking about injuries to the musculoskeletal system. This including your muscles, your tendons, your ligament, your nerves, your joints, and that's often caused by force, repetitive movement, or improper workstation setup. Psychosocial hazards, important and probably at the forefront more than ever before. These are factors that affect our mental, emotional, and physical well being. These could be things like workplace harassment, stress, and violence. When we talk about safety hazards, these are conditions that cause injury to loss of life, such as your slips, trips, and fall hazards, inappropriate machine guarding, and equipment malfunctioning. And then finally, we have chemical hazards. When we're talking chemical hazards, this is all about toxic substances that can cause bodily harm, including your gases, your vapors, your dust, your fumes. So, really, hazards are present in every workplace. So, effectively managing these hazards is really key to preventing injuries and illnesses in the workplace. To effectively manage workplace hazards and create a safer environment, we use a system called the hierarchy of controls. So, this framework prioritizes hazard control methods in specific order from most effective to least, helping organizations reduce the risk at the source. So let's walk through each level of the hierarchy of control. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the analogy of handling and storing heavy boxes, so you can see how it we go through it in every single step. So when we're talking about the first step, this would be elimination of the hazard, right? So this is all about removing the hazard in its entirety. And the example of this could be, let's avoid storing those heavy boxes on those high shelves to eliminate the risk of them falling altogether. So we're eliminating the hazard right at the source. Now, if that doesn't work, we could substitute the hazard, right? So this could be replacing hazard items or processes with safer alternatives. So the example of this could be using smaller boxes or lighter boxes instead of heavier ones to reduce the risk of injury. Implementing engineering controls. This is all about designing physical changes to reduce exposure to hazards. This could be using hand dollies or hand carts, conveyor belts to move those heavy boxes instead of lifting them manually if we have to do so. Applying administrative controls. This is all about changing the way people work through policies and procedures. This could be about developing clear protocols for stacking and storing those boxes safely, or even for scheduling regular safety checks. Providing training and awareness. This is about educating employees on safe practices and hazard recognition, training your staff on proper lifting techniques to prevent those back injuries from even happening. And then finally, we have the use of personal protective equipment or PPE. This is all about equipping the worker with gear to protect themselves from those hazards. So maybe if that employee does have to lift that heavy box, we could provide them with a back support belt for employees that do have to do that heavy lifting. So really by following these steps, employers can significantly reduce workplace hazards and ensure safer environments for all employees. So, WSPS is dedicated to helping small business owners achieve their full potential. We have something called our Small Business Center, which offers free tools and resources to keep your business on track with health and safety information. You can certainly scan the QR code now to access the Small Business Center. Essentially, this is a snapshot of what it looks like. Almost all the information that you're going to find on our Small Business Center is free. Like 98% of the information is free. The Small Business Center, it's divided into 4 parts, and we're going to take a quick look at each section, starting off with section number 1. Now, this is our safety roadmap. This is where you're going to find size-specific health and safety requirements and resources. This is where you're going to find the bulk of the information. So your tools, your checklist, your templates. So based on the size of your organization, 1 to 5, 6 to 19, or 20 to 49 employees. So it's size-specific health and safety resources. That's where you're going to find. Understanding health and safety, this is where you're going to access case studies and articles. So perhaps maybe you're a little more analytical or you're a numbers person and you really want to know the stats. This is where you're going to find information about that. Under additional supports, this is where you're going to explore our Small Business Advisory Service and our WSIB Health and Safety Excellence Program. I will talk about the advisory service in just a couple of slides, but I do want to touch upon the WSIB Health and Safety Excellence Program for just a second. Now, the WSIB Health and Safety Excellence Program, while it's not a free service, there is a registration fee to participate in this program. There's definitely huge benefits, and I really wanted to make a mention about this program. So essentially what this program offers, it's customized support from a WSIB approved provider, WSPS obviously being the largest provider in the province of Ontario. And as an approved provider, we have welcomed over 18,000 participants into our Health and Safety Excellence Program, this resulting in more than $12 million in WSIB rebates. So we've been doing this since day one. We know our stuff. We know the program inside out, and we can certainly guide you through the program. So basically what you're doing is there is 41 health and safety topics to choose from, covering a variety of aspects when it comes to workplace safety. You choose a topic or a couple of topics to implement into your workplace, showing WSIB that health and safety is living and breathing in your organization. You're showing them evidence of your policies and your health and safety boards and your training records, and you're evaluating and all that great stuff. They evaluate it and say, check, check, check. Yep, ABC company is doing all these wonderful things. We're going to give you your rebate dollars back. So financial benefits, not only are you spending $800 to register for the program? So $800 is typically the amount for the WSIB Health and Safety Excellence Program as a small business. But when you register, you select your health and safety topics. WSIB is going to give you $1,000 back. So you're already $200 in pocket from just registering for the program. And then you get additional premium money back for every health and safety topic that you do. So there could be thousands of dollars on the table for you. So a great program to look into. You have to do health and safety in your workplace anyway. Might as well get recognized for it and get your money back, right? So again, this program aims to reduce injuries, to really boost workplace safety culture, and really improve overall employee well-being. So if you're looking to put money back into your pocket, a fantastic program. And lastly, the What's New section. This is where you're going to stay updated with our latest tools and resources. This is where you're going to find the link for the Health and Safety Handbook Generator, Small Biz Bite videos, podcast episodes, and training when it comes to health and safety representative. So again, all the resources are free. 98% of them are free. So definitely take some time to go through the Small Business Center. If you need some further navigation with the Small Business Center, because it can be overwhelming, Leah and I would be more than happy to help you navigate it. Now, I've covered a lot of stuff so far, so I'm just going to pause for a quick minute and I'm going to ask if there's any questions so far or if Leah would like to add anything.
You're
Can I
doing
see the
great,
chat box?
Stella. Thank you for sharing. There's such valuable resources for sure. And just one thing to add, maybe, is that we do have a really robust team in Thunder Bay right now. We are new to Thunder Bay. We're building out a team in Northwestern Ontario. So if anyone is hearing anything that Stella's mentioned and thinking, oh, okay, I need help with that specific resource, please get in touch with us and we can provide a lot of one-on-one support and one-on-one consulting local to Thunder Bay, which is really fantastic. Back to you, Stella.
Thanks, Leah. Okay, so I don't see any questions in the chat box, so I'm just going to keep on going here. Okay, so here's what the safety roadmap looks like. The safety roadmap covers anywhere from 9 to 11 key topics, depending again on the size of your organization. Now, we're not going to dive into every single topic today, but I do want to highlight a couple of important ones. So, no matter which roadmap you choose, we always ask folks to start with the safety checklist. So, this tool really helps you check any gaps in your current health and safety program, fixing these gaps, putting you on the right path. So definitely start with the safety checklist. And we have a safety checklist, whether you're 1 to 5, 6 to 19, or 20 to 49 employees. So always a great starting point. I also wanted to touch on duties and responsibilities section and the resources that you could find under duties and responsibilities. So under duties and responsibilities, you're going to find all these great topics, an overview, there's great videos, there's downloads, training, e-courses. Where I wanted to focus here is the resource section. And this is where you're going to find the Ministry of Labor's health and safety awareness training for workers and supervisors. So let's talk about it for a couple minutes. By law, all workers, all supervisors must take basic occupational health and safety awareness training. This helps them understand their health and safety rights and meet their responsibilities. The awareness training is an excellent resource, not only for new but current workers. It really serves as a comprehensive refresher on essential topics, including a detailed overview of worker rights, a clear explanation of worker duties and responsibilities, and it goes into depth a little bit more about the internal responsibility system, along with a basic understanding of the Occupational Health and Safety Act. It takes about 45 minutes to an hour to complete, and it's absolutely free. You're going to find this on the ministry's website. Once you've completed the training, you're going to get a certificate of completion. So you're going to be asked to put your name in it, and you're going to save that certificate as a training record. Because when the ministry does come calling, that is one of the first things that they're going to ask for is show me your records, show me your health and safety awareness training records for all your employees, all your workers. So something to keep in mind. And as a matter of fact, I have two kids. I have two teenagers, well, young adults, I guess, my 20-year-old and 18-year-old. And when they were starting work a couple years ago in the summertime, because mom's been in health and safety forever, and it's very important to me, when they were looking for their first jobs, I actually had them sit down and do this awareness training. I was not the fan favorite that day. They were not happy with me, but it doesn't matter because I wanted them to know what they're just the basic of health and safety. And I wasn't too sure that where they were going to land was going to actually recognize that you have to have this training done. So the long and the short of it, as we're going into summertime and you have young ones or teens, definitely have them sit down and do the health and safety awareness. Again, it's free, high level overview. And then what we did is we printed off their certificates, we attached it to their resumes, and we applied for jobs. And both my kids got jobs that summer. And comments were made when they applied, like, hey, they took that extra step to do the health and safety awareness training, which I believe, the employer definitely valued, right? So something to think about. Okay, so let's talk about training and orientation and what that looks like. So, who needs to be trained? The short answer of this is everyone needs to be trained in the workplace when it comes to health and safety, tailored to their specific roles and hazards that they could be exposed to. So let's break it down a little bit. When we're talking about new workers and young workers, we definitely want to highlight the importance of safety. So there is a statistic out there that in the first 30 days, new workers and young workers are the most susceptible to have a workplace injury or accident because they don't know. It could be their first job. They could be shy. They might not know their rights to speak up. They might not communicate with their employer or their supervisor. So definitely so important to have the proper training for new and young workers. Now, what if you've had returning workers? Maybe someone's been off on mat leave for a year or 18 months. You definitely want to review key information after extended leave. Supervisors, right? They need to recognize hazards and enforce policies, right? We need to make sure we have a competent supervisor in place as per the Occupational Health and Safety Act. And what that means is having a qualified by knowledge, training, and experience supervisor that's familiar with the Occupational Health and Safety Act and the regulations, and that is aware of potential dangers in the workplace so they can tell their workers what they could be potentially exposed to. Contractors, visitors, and suppliers, we definitely want to hold them to the same safety standards as employees because they're going to be exposed to the same hazards as employees, right? Temporary workers from agencies, we want to make sure they also receive appropriate training and information. So everybody needs to be trained, whether you're full-time, part-time, new, young, temporary, they're all going to be exposed to hazards, and we want to make sure to eliminate those hazards by providing the right training. Now, areas of training to consider, we talked about this, health and safety awareness for worker and supervisor. Right off the bat, when I'm talking to small businesses, this is the first thing I'm going to ask you to do is do that training. Very important, and it's free. We touched about upon WHMIS as well. So WHMIS with the designated substances and the safety material data sheets. If you have a designated substance in your workplace or you are working with chemicals, definitely make sure to have proper training for WHMIS done. This is all about understanding hazardous materials and those safety data sheets. Violence and harassment program. You want to have policies and procedures to prevent and address workplace violence and harassment. Emergency plan and evacuation, right? So emergency procedures and designated evacuation zones. Does everybody know where to go in emergency? What if a fire happens immediately right now? Where are you meeting? Where's the meeting spot? Is everyone out of the building? Do you have a head count? Is there a checklist? Is there a check-in log that people, when they come into the building, you have who's in the building? So all very important things to know. Personal protective equipment. This is the use and the care, the maintenance of replacing your PPE. That's really important. Common job hazards and their controls, really about identifying and mitigating common workplace hazards. And then, of course, first aid, right? So what if someone hurts themselves, cuts themselves at work? Where's the first aid kit? Who are your first aiders? Are they posted on your health and safety board? So these are all really important things to consider. Supervisors, joint health and safety representatives, right? We have lots of training options for all these folks. We primarily do our training virtually for your convenience. So when you're, and an example of this could be health and safety representative. We have an e-course for health and safety representative training. It's as inexpensive as $25. So it's $25 for the e-course. You could purchase it on our website. It's an 8-hour course. I believe it could be done within a couple of weeks, or I think you have a maximum of up to 3 months to do it. So you could do a little bit at a time if you need that training. We have Joint Health and Safety Committee training that we do virtually. So all kinds of training to support your health and safety needs and training requirements. So this might all sound really overwhelming, but we have just the tool to help you create an orientation training handbook instantly. I'm going to talk about our orientation handbook generator. So we know that allocating resources for worker training and orientation can be really challenging. Many people don't know where to start. This is where our orientation handbook generator comes in handy. It's a free tool that helps businesses produce and download employee handbooks instantly. So it helps simplifies compliance with the Occupational Health and Safety Act and regulations. It's customizable for sector and for company size. It really aids in creating an orientation program, and it's easy to produce, free to download. And it's not a one and done. You could do multiple versions of this. So say, for example, if you have a larger organization where you have office staff versus warehouse staff, you could do orientation handbook generator for your office staff and all the policies and procedures and hazards that they could be exposed to in the front end of the building versus your warehouse staff, right? Very different hazards that they could be exposed to. So it's not a one and done. You could do multiple versions of this. I'm really excited to present a live demonstration of the orientation handbook generator. You could certainly scan the QR code, keep it as a tab on your phone. Disclaimer, during the demo, I'm going to be showcasing the app and demonstrating the ease in the use, but please remember to select options that are relevant to your specific workplace, as every business might have different hazards and requirements. Now, having said that, another disclaimer, when I went on to do the orientation handbook generator today, I noticed the link was not working properly. So I think they're making updates to the app. I'm going to try and show you the best I can. I wish I could actually go through it in its entirety because it takes like 5 minutes to do an orientation guide. So I'm just going to stop sharing my screen for 1 second. And I'm going to toggle over to another one of my screens. Share, there we go. And I'm going to, my apologies. I'm sorry, my apologies, give me 1 second. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to share. And I'm going to do the screen and I'm going to share. Okay, I'm going to go here. Okay, thumbs up that you can see my screen again. Great. Okay, fantastic. So this essentially is the landing page. It's of the orientation handbook generator. So essentially what you're going to do is you're going to click the link, you're going to enter your information, you're going to save it, and we're going to download our tailor-made handbook instantly. Normally you would hit get started, and this is what it prompts you to do. It's going to prompt you to either register an account or continue as a guest. I typically continue as a guest, but if you have a very extended orientation training handbook generator, you might want to register your account. Just if you want to make any modifications to the handbook generator, you could certainly go back and do so. So typically you would hit continue as a guest. This would populate with all kinds of great information, but of course it's being finicky today. It's going to ask you step 1, basic information about your workplace. What's your company name? What's your address? What's your phone number? Who's the contact person? Then it's going to ask you additional information about the hazards that you could be exposed to in your workplace based on your sector and your size. And then you're going to review and download your handbook generator. And again, I wish this website was working properly, but it's not. The most I could do is continue, and give you an idea of what it looks like. So once you put in all that information, it's going to spit this out, employee handbook generator. It literally takes 5 minutes, and all of these blanks are filled in because you've typed it in and you filled it in. But essentially, you're going to create your orientation handbook generator. You're going to give it to your existing and new employees. They're going to sit down, they're going to review it in its entirety, ask you any questions that they might have, and they're going to sign off on it. You're going to sign off on it. You're going to date it, and boom, that'll be your training record. So again, I wish the website was working properly. I apologize. It's not. I think they're adding more to it, which is great. They're enhancing the platform, but for this purpose, it's not going to work. So I'm just going to stop that for a second and get out of that. Like I said, I wish that was a little bit more robust. Okay, and we're going to share one more time. We're going to go here and we're going to share that. And we're going to from current. Okay. Again, I'm just going to take a second now. I know that wasn't much of a demo, but I'm just going to ask, I've covered a lot of information. Does anybody have any questions about what I've covered so far? Everything's good. Hopefully I'm not going too fast. It's all good. We're taking the information in. Okay. I'm just going to keep on going then. Okay, something I wanted to highlight. So the next couple of slides, I'm going to highlight all these amazing free resources that we have on our website. First, starting off with our full suite of free e-courses to help workplaces build essential safety skills. Topics include health and safety awareness, WHMIS, violence and harassment, mental health, landscaping, and so much more. So these free e-courses, they're mobile friendly, they're easy to access, there's no promo code required. This was going to expire in March, and because of the overwhelming response that we had to the free e-courses, they extended this offer until the end of September. So definitely take some time and have a look at our free e-courses. They're really quick and accessible way for small businesses to meet requirements and strengthen their safety knowledge. What I will add here too is at the end of this webinar, I'm going to share all the links to all of the information that I covered in the webinar. So don't worry about not having the links. I'm going to send that to Charla and Andrew and Leah, and they're going to share that with you after the fact. So you're going to have access to the free e-courses, the orientation guide, and all of the amazing stuff that we've covered today. Okay, moving right along, let's dive into the details and the benefits of our fantastic free small business advisory service. The small business advisory service is designed for businesses with fewer than 20 employees. And our goal is really to help small businesses improve health and safety practices through simple, practical solutions. So let's dive into the details of this program. Who can benefit from the Small Business Advisory Service? Well, businesses needing additional support to understand their legal requirements, identify hazards, or businesses who might need a little extra coaching or guidance. Those with limited time and budgets for health and safety practices. Businesses looking for expert guidance, we're going to connect you with a Canadian registered safety professional to develop a customized action plan after an on-site walkthrough. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to match one of our WSPS volunteers. We have over 200 volunteers across the province of Ontario. These are our passionate certified experts. We're going to match one of our volunteers up with a small business owner. They're going to connect. The volunteer is going to come out to your workplace. They're going to do a walkthrough. So they're going to bring a workplace inspection form. They're going to do a walkthrough of your workplace, help you identify gaps and hazards that you currently have in your program, help you create an action plan based on priorities. And they're really going to coach you through closing those gaps and getting your program into place. So essentially, it's 10 hours of free consulting. This could be done over a couple of weeks, over a couple months. There's no real duration that's involved in this. And it's free. No strings attached, absolutely free. So we know that small businesses really need help when it comes to coaching with health and safety. And we have this fantastic program in place. So certainly consider if you need just that extra little bit of coaching or help or not too sure where to start, the Small Business Advisory Service is definitely the right option. How you apply for this, when I send you that email at the end of the webinar, there is a very short application form of like 5 questions. You would just fill the application form in, send it back to Leah or myself, and we can get you connected with one of those volunteers, and we'll go through the matching process and we'll go from there. So anyways, a great program to consider. Our Small Biz Bite video series. So these are short animated videos to make it easy for anyone to understand basic health and safety requirements. They're fun, they're straightforward, and they include a quick knowledge check to ensure that you're grasping the concept. They're perfect for startups, for small businesses. So these videos really help you learn and confirm your understanding of essential health and safety standards. As you can see on the screen, we have a wide range of topics. I think there's something like 20 videos available in both English and in French. Tune into Small Biz Safety Podcast. If you're one to listen to podcast, this is definitely one for you. We have over 40 episodes to cover with the latest trends in health and safety and small businesses. Some of our featured past episodes include what to expect during a ministry workplace inspection visit. We have an episode for first aid requirements for Ontario businesses, responding to crime and violence in retail. And in one of our latest episodes, we explore how balancing business and safety with practical tips to cut cost and stress. So learn easy ways to make safety part of your routine and stay ahead of ministry inspections and how to prepare. So you could certainly find podcasts wherever you get your podcast from, whatever platform that might be. Okay, so we are coming to a close here. This is where I want your engagement now. Okay, so this is going to be a really quick, fun recap of some of the things that we've covered. I want to see who's been paying attention here. So you can either unmute yourself and just answer the question, or you can put it in the chat, whatever works. But I'm going to ask a couple of questions to see who is paying attention. Quiz time. Okay, the first question. The internal responsibility system is the core workplace safety principle where all parties, employers, supervisors, workers, share responsibility for health and safety. Is this true or false? What are our thoughts on that?
It's true.
Mm. Do we all believe it's true?
Yep.
Love it. Absolutely. Thank you so much for engaging. Okay, question number 2. The Occupational Health and Safety Act is the main health and safety law in Ontario. True or false?
True.
What are? Yep. The Occupational Health and Safety Act is certainly the main law in Ontario. We got to follow that. The Occupational Health and Safety Act requires employers in Ontario to ensure that all workers and supervisors complete the basic health and safety awareness training program. True or false?
True.
Should have maybe thrown a couple curveballs in here. You guys were definitely paying attention. Okay, and the last question. WSPS supports businesses with guidance, training, and many free resources. Absolutely, that's true. We're here to help, right? So like I said, we're not-for-profit health and safety association. Your premiums that you're paying to the WSIB is what funds us. Our services, most of them are been prepaid. So that's why we have all these amazing free resources to support you. And I really want to pause on this slide because it's really important reminder as to why this work matters. At the end of the day, everyone deserves to finish their shift and go home to the people who they care most about. Safety isn't just policies, it's about protecting families, moments, and futures. So when WSPS supports a business, we're really helping protect tomorrow for every worker. And that's what drives everything that we do. That's why I've been with this amazing organization for almost 20 years. I truly believe in our vision and our mission and what we do, helping workers stay safe and going home at the end of the day. So coming to a close, I'd like to thank everyone for their time and for attending this session. We want your feedback on this session so we can improve our resources and continue to grow them and support you in different ways. Could everyone just please take a moment to scan the QR code with their phone that they see on the screen here and take a really brief survey. It's 5 questions and it's going to take less than a minute. So I'm just going to pause for a minute and I'm going to ask everyone if they can please do that for me. Let them know if you enjoyed this session. How did I do? I hope if I've done my job correctly, you took at least one thing away. So if you took at least one thing away that you didn't know, I've done my job correctly. So I'm just going to pause for a minute, have you do that, and then we're going to get into a Q&A section and we'll wrap things up. And I think we're ahead of time, which is good. Yeah,
We're getting a message that that survey's not active.
Oh, okay.
Gotta love that. Those QR codes.
I swear that I don't know what they're doing on the website. Okay. All right. Well, no worries. Can you guys click the link? Are you able to click the link on the PowerPoint?
You can't click it, but you might be able to copy it from your PowerPoint right into the chat, and then folks could access it that way.
Yeah, maybe I'll do that. Oh, I apologize. Maybe I'll do that. Okay, give me 1 second. I'll briefly, can I copy that? Of course, it's going to give me a hard time. Copy, and we're going to go to the chat, and we're going to put it to everyone. Thank you for that. Yeah, again, they must be doing like some kind of updates. So I apologize for that. The beauty of technology.
Stella.
Yes.
Stella, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, John.
Okay, thank you. So John O'Brien here, just full disclosure, I'm a longtime volunteer with WSPS and I'd like to commend you for an excellent presentation, a lot of good information. Nice to see a lot of free things. That was one of the things that I noticed when I was doing some training with small businesses, that they not only had very little time to attend sessions, but they didn't have the financial resources to send people. So it's nice to see that WSPS is helping small business in that way. One thing that I wanted just to ask is that Lee mentioned that Thunder Bay has a new team, and I'd like maybe for you to indicate in the chat the names and the contact information for people in Thunder Bay. Lee is the new consultant, but I got the impression there's more than Lee that's involved in working in Thunder Bay.
Yeah. So, John, a couple of things. I want to thank you for being a WSPS volunteer and all the amazing things that you do to support everyone going home healthy and safe at the end of the day. Whereabouts are you located in the province?
Right here in Thunder Bay.
Ah, very good. And a question for you. Have you ever been involved in the Small Business Advisory Service? Have they ever matched you with a small business owner?
Not as yet, but
Okay.
I've been interested in that aspect of it. I'm also interested in the health and safety awareness training.
That's amazing. That's great.
Yeah,
Well, this could change your life, John. You might be paired up with someone in Thunder Bay and you might be supporting them. So this is amazing. Yeah. I will definitely include the Thunder Bay team. I believe that Leah is the first point of contact for Thunder Bay. So I will definitely include her information in the email after the fact and look for that. I think Leah is going to be, I'm going to be sending information to Leah. Leah's going to be forwarding it on. We'll definitely get that information out to you. Yeah. But thank you so much for all that wonderful feedback. I'm glad you enjoyed the session, John.
yeah. I worked with Lee and with Charlotte. I'm a member of the Chamber of Commerce, and I wanted
Amazing.
to link Lee as a new consultant with the chamber and the small business group with your organization and the services you provide. So that's great that we're having this webinar.
Yeah, I believe we are a member of the Thunder Bay Chamber of Commerce just recently. So we're
Yes.
super excited about that. And this is a great platform where we get to share all those amazing free resources now that we're connected. So we didn't have a lot of staff in the north. Having said that, that has certainly changed the past year or so. We have a dedicated northern team who are all over the province, Northern Ontario. And how many are there? I want to say there's like 5 or 6 staff members all across the province. Now, I'm unfamiliar with the northern regions. I know Leah could definitely speak to it a bit more, but we're definitely covered now. So you're definitely in good hands.
Good.
Yeah. Does anybody else have any questions for me before we wrap things up? Maybe I'll just stop sharing my screen here.
Looks like you've answered all the questions and given so many resources. So thank you for that, Stella. We did find that that link wasn't working. So hopefully when we
Oh,
share the slides, then folks will be able to go back and do that once they get the website back up and working. Always the way. It's just one of those weeks, right?
I'm just gonna hope that they're making amazing updates in the background.
Absolutely. So if there's no other questions, then I'm going to go ahead and say thank you so much to Stella and Leah. I know she was doing another training session, so she had to jump out a little bit early. Thank you both for your presentation this afternoon. So much information. I'm so interested to listen to the podcast because I'm one of those podcast listeners. So we'll definitely
Love
check
it.
that out and the Small Business Advisory Service. But feel free, folks, to definitely reach out to Leah and the team. If you have any questions, they're happy to assist you. And we will send out an email with a link to the recording as well as the slides in the next few days. Before we conclude, I do want to highlight a couple of the Chamber's upcoming opportunities for engagement and connection with other business professionals. On May 13th, just a couple of weeks away, we're hosting a leaders lunch sponsored by Crestview Strategy, where we're going to explore how Northwestern Ontario businesses can respond to ongoing labor shortages. So that's called the People Powering the North. So don't miss that. Also on May 20th, iTech Equipment is hosting the Chamber and its members for our Inside Industry event, which is a morning coffee drop-in, so check that out. And our next Small Business Solutions webinar will be on Tuesday, May the 19th, with the Rainbow Collective, who is going to be helping us to build more inclusive, respectful, and confident workplaces for staff, clients, and community members. Sherry, yes, I've got your note. I will flip you that info. And for any information on any of the Chamber's upcoming events, you can visit the Chamber's website, tbchamber.ca/events. Thanks to everybody for joining us today, and watch for the email in the coming days. And I hope you all have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody. Be well. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.